Hello everyone and welcome to Caroline's Craftery. Today I just wanted to show you these little slide butterfly specimen slides. And I wanted to show you how I made them. So I used my digital kit called Vintage Slides, and I'll just quickly go through the pages of what you get in that digital kit. I'll leave a link to this below. So there's also a video on how to do these slides, and I'll link that below as well. And then to go along with them, and I'm going to post these as a freebie, so you can follow the link below to download this here freebie. But it's got little butterfly cutouts, some specimen labels, and just a few words. So let's get started. I've already done some of the prep just to make it quicker and easier. So I've got two butterflies which I've cut out, and on these sheets the butterflies are each way, so then you can put them back to back and have them on the slides so you can see both sides of them. So what I've done is I cut out the antennas just because they're too hard to cut out. So what I do was I'm going to use a couple little pieces of thread which are going to act as the antennas. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue, and you don't even have to bother with the antennas. It's all personal preference for you. So hopefully you can see this with it being so little and my hands getting in the way. So that little bit of glue is just going to hold them down a little bit while I glue this other part on. I've already inked all my pieces. You don't need to do the inking, but I ink pretty much everything. So you would think that I have shares in Jim Holtz or something because I use it so much. So now these are going to go back to back. And if you don't press down on the glue right away, then you can move it around a tiny little bit. And I like to make sure that they're relatively lined up. And then I just push them all down. And once those are done, I just trim off those threads and help if my scissors work. There we go. And then you can pull the threads a little bit. I tend to be too picky sometimes. So there is my butterfly ready. So now with these, I've inked these up on both sides just because sometimes when you put them back to back, you get little white spots showing. So I've got the two of them. This one I've already put some double-sided tape. I'm just trying to use it up. Usually I just glue it. And then I also have two pieces of clear stuff. Now this stuff here, I don't know, it's a Magic Cover self-adhesive decorative covering. Now I use this because I have some big rolls of it which I found at the thrift store, and I thought to myself, that's going to be useful for something. So you could use acetate, you could use the page protectors, you could even use vellum for these as well. So it's all just what you have, and I happen to have lots of this. So this stuff here that I use, it's sticky on one side. So I'm going to just set my butterfly right in the middle of this little piece that I've got. It's a little bit of a pain to work with because it is very sticky. And once you stick it down, it's done. So this one, I'm just going to try to lay it down on top. I know I've seen other things like this very similar to this, but this is how I do it, so I just wanted to share. So now we need to trim this a little bit, and I tend to put it on here so I can center it a bit, and then I just hold it and I just trim what I don't need off. Sometimes I have to trim it a few times. I've tried measuring, but because sometimes your butterfly, and you can see here, it's not in there totally square, but it's still good enough to use in here. That's why I don't measure it or anything like that. Just trim a little bit off this side. And I try to get it about halfway over there. And now, okay. And I tend, on the upper side, I tend to cut the corners off like so. Just because with this being rounded, it just less chance of it hanging over the edge. Okay. So now on this one that I've got the tape, just going to peel that tape off really quick, or I hope it'll be really quick. So far, so good. Okay, so now I'm going to lay this in here and try to get it relatively even. So then that's kind of what it's going to look like. So now you take the other piece of the slide, and I'm just going to glue up the back. I like to get these sides really good because there's not a lot holding those. Okay. Now lay them back to back. And with these, if you don't press down really hard at first, you can very easily move the two layers so that they're fairly lined up. Being that they're cut by hand, it's really hard to totally have them lined up. But that's also why you can see in this corner they're not quite lined up. But that's why I like the distressing, because it helps hide that a little bit. So there's the initial slide. Now you could easily leave it like that. Both sides are the same, so it doesn't matter which side is which. So I've got one of these specimen labels. It's just kind of got a date and a number and the Italian or the Latin word for butterfly. And these were designed to go on the bottom. On the Freebie kit, there's some words, so you could just put a word down here as well. Or you might have something else that you would even like to put down there. Some of the labels on this one is blank, so you could actually hand write something in there. And then this one, I've got this little butterfly specimen words. So we will glue that on the top. And there you have your specimen card. And you can see through it very clearly. Some I thought I might put a grommet in there and then it can hang. You could decorate it a little further by putting some flowers on it or however you like. So, yeah, I thought they were cute. You don't have to have the vintage slide digital. You can always just cut your own. I made the butterflies to specifically fit these just because I've already got the digital kit made, so it just seemed like a good idea. So check out the links below. Go grab the freebie. I'll pop over to my store and get the vintage slides. And have fun making these. You could even put flowers in the middle, dragonflies, anything, and then just do up your own name tags, change the names, etc. So, anyways, have fun making these. Thanks for watching. Bye.